Hello there. A few tips about my X Pro 3. And first tip is, here's the X Pro 3, here's my X Pro 2. I've kitted it out with the half case, as I had done as I did with my X Pro 2. The Sugru, using the half case here as well. And I decided that I better have a look at PC Autosave, because instead of taking the case off every time I need to upload an image or two, I thought, why not look into PC Autosave. So if I take a picture, let me just take a picture. Take a picture of my X Pro 2. Let's show you that. I'm going to try and use PC Autosave now. So before you do that, it's important to, in the menu, you go to Connection Setting and PC Autosave. Set up your network. Do that via simple or manual setup. Mine has already been done, and it recognizes my network name WPS1, so that's all fine. And it has to recognize your PC, the destination PC, and for that to happen, the PC must have the PC Autosave software running on it in the system tray or active, so it can help the detection process. So anyway, I've been through all that, and so now if I play, this is the picture I took of this from my point of view. If I want to upload that, I go into the playback menu. It's a completely different series of menus. I'm going to use the front command dial to slew to page 3, PC Autosave. So if I press that, and my Asus laptop is switched on, that's the one. It will now, it's connecting to the router, and it will now be searching for destination PC, Asus laptop. If it finds the PC, which it previously has because it has the name of it there, that's the one. I do want to save it to that. It's checking the files to be saved, because it won't upload files that have previously been uploaded, ones I did yesterday. It's uploading 4 files because I must have had another one in there. So a JPEG and a RAW for each picture I do. Here we go, 1 JPEG, 1 RAW gone up. And here goes another. So what I wanted to say is that when I got my my X Pro 3, I didn't get a printed manual. Okay, it's completed, and it's turned the camera off. That's done. That's uploaded to the PC. Nor did I get a charger, but the charger for this, for the X Pro 2, that charges these batteries, works fine with the NPW126S batteries. That's the main thing to note. So if you've got a previous charger, that's going to probably work. If you can use the S batteries in the X Pro 3, it's probably better if you're doing high resolution video, because they won't overheat. They control the heating up a little bit better. Okay, my main tip for this little clip here is about using the command dials. So the way, if I shoot in a studio, I like to plop the ISO on 160, the shutter on max sync speed 250, and dial in my shutter speeds. And this is fine to use this. Plenty of time to do it. It's accurate. I can see what's going on. I can see the settings there. But perhaps if I'm doing sort of street or just roaming photography, I kind of like this setting. ISO on C for command dial. Now my front command dial controls the ISO speeds, and my rear command dial, because I've set shutter to T, the rear command dial controls and slews through all the shutter speeds, scrolls through the whole lot. So, and then, I mean, that's very convenient because they lie right under the fingers, and the left hand does the aperture. So you've got your exposure triangle under complete control here. Control all three. And I think Nikon and Canon users that like these dials will feel at home with this. So this is just a faster way of setting all three than picking up this ISO or turning the shutter. It doesn't take long, but it's just slightly faster. But you need to see in your viewfinder what you have set. Here you can see shutter speed. The shutter speed is on 500, and there's a little semicircle saying that I've got the control on the rear dial, and on the front dial I've got the ISO here. So I really like that. But there are many ways, and no shame in using any auto ISO setting or auto shutter setting or aperture. Now for the rear focus and exposure lock, I've set it to this button instead of this button, because this is how the camera customized it to that button. This is how things suit my hand. And exposure lock with this one. The camera doesn't make any noise when you do that. Anyway, I like it here, and what I use here is preview, exposure and white balance in manual mode, so that I can go from studio conditions to outdoor conditions with that button, which takes me a bit longer to get to. Other things I customize, I put auto ISOs on this one, and I put face detection on this one. I'm probably going to change this one because I have it in my menu, the so-called my menu here, which is something worth doing, worth building up your settings here and creating your own My Menu for quick access to things. And of course there are many settings that are on the Q menu. And this is my black and white, so I go from a standard, which is just sort of run-of-the-mill settings for everything, to portrait indoors, portrait outdoors, landscape, street, classic and black and white. I might do a black and white hard and a black and white soft. So let's leave it on. Let's leave it on standard. One little, if I press menu, one little thing that's nice to fiddle around with the front command dial is if I go to this menu here, for example, yeah, the moving menu has got 4 pages. So with the front command dial, you can scroll through the 4 pages very quickly and go to the next. This has got 3 pages, there you go. And then once you're in that page, up and down with that, or the rear command dial, up to you. But I do like this little shortcut to move through everything quickly. Now there's another really cool rear command dial function here on the X Pro 3 that the X Pro 2 won't do. If you go into, let me get this right, if you go into the AF mode, well, there's single point, zone, which is a bit more sort of auto if you like, and even more auto is widen tracking. But if you select all, you can use your rear command dial to scroll through all these different settings seamlessly. So I'll show you that. That might be a bit hard to show here, but all. So if I'm shooting, what do I need to do? Up my ISO a lot to see anything at all here. Here we go. So basically, if I press the focus in, I've gone through, this is still single mode, Now we're into zone, 2 different zones, 3 different zones, and into the wide tracking, and then back to single point. Might be a little hard to see. So that actually avoids programming another button, because function buttons are a little bit limited on the X Pro 3 compared to the X Pro 2. We lost the D-pad and a few extra buttons, but as you know, I have to adapt to these things. So that eliminated a function button. So another little tip I want to mention is shooting with 2 cameras. For example, if I have my 50mm on this lens and I'm doing a portrait shoot in the studio, and the Tweet 32 on this lens, on this camera, on the X Pro 2, do check you've got your time and date set to the exact minute so that they're equal, so that when you upload them to Lightroom or Flickr or something and you order them chronologically, you don't get them all jumbled up. That's a real shame for that to happen. So that's another good setting. Let me just find out if there's anything else I want to mention here. No, that's mostly just about it. The PC autosave, focus modes, command dials. See, so what happened is that the previous Fujifilm cameras, people wrote in and said, well, why can't we use a command dial on the front wheel or something, or back wheel, for auto ISOs, for the ISO settings, and of course now we can. So anyway, so nice little handy camera, and I think one has to view it as a very tweaked and customized and advanced X Pro 2 basically. This lens will focus my 56mm more accurately than the X Pro 2. So the focus is much better on this. Whether or not... Oh, there's a very small difference, but it might show up because it's very hard for these things to show up. This line on the X Pro 3, slightly different from this line that goes here, right across here, on the X Pro 2 aesthetics. So hardly something I can notice when I'm shooting. I forget which one I've got in my hand, and that's fine. What I like about this screen is that it keeps your images a little bit private. If somebody says to you, oh, let's have a look at the picture we just did, you can always say, oh, sorry, it hasn't got a screen on the back, because you'd like to edit them before that. So I kind of like that, and it's only at the beginning when you're going through lots of menus that you really perhaps want to use this screen. Later on, as you've got everything tweaked and assigned and set up, there's no real need to use it that much, and I don't think I really shoot using the LCD screen. That's something I learnt watching a YouTube clip. Somebody said, oh, just shoot with the LCD screen, and I thought, oh cool, that's something I don't do. So anyway, the 23 I think is the best lens for this, because whether this 23 or the large aperture one, because that's what the optical viewfinder is optimized for. And the LCD, very, very high resolution, very, very nice, and the EVF, very nice resolution. So that's what I mostly use, is the EVF rather than the OVF. But anyway, I recommend the camera. It's good, suits me, works for me. You do need to go beyond your initial impression. You do need to hold one and use it for a month or two before you can see what's under the hood, and how it is a finely tweaked X Pro 2 really. Okay, that's it